Okay, today's Gruntleigh tweet basically was, when Space Tesco driver arrived with delivery, him say we have had some substitutions. For instance, my 36 bananas have been replaced by 36 twigs. Me understand them sometimes run out of stock, although me not sure why driver have hundreds of bananas stuffed under his seat in a cab. So, today's drawing, I just thought I'd attempt to draw Gruntleigh with a box of twigs. So we start off, as ever, with the line, the brow line, and then we draw in the eyes underneath, the nose and mouth, and then we do a quick cross for his forehead and draw the head shape in. And we go down to draw his chin. Now there are these little sprouty bits of hair on his chin, but sometimes I forget to put those in, or sometimes they're not necessary. We like to think those are the days when he's had a shave. Now this is the collar piece that Gruntleigh has, which is kind of the way I've started doing him. His ears are very low on the head, and then if you start to draw in the shape of the hair, suddenly he starts to look like himself. So there we go. Obviously the hairline is variable depending on what the drawing is. We have to draw in a couple of lines here just to sort of give the shape, and we draw in the shape of the head there, and there we go. A few more lines on the face there. Now these are the cheekbones and the head shape bones. We put a little bit of extra emphasis around the exterior lines. That's the squiggle I always like to do. So bear with me, that's how you'll know it's a genuine me. And we start drawing the hands, so hands are difficult. As you can see, my hands are quite random. The style for the Gruntleigh drawings it's kind of a rough style. It's kind of a rough style, which I quite like. It seems appropriate to the character, so bear with me, all you fine and wonderful finished cartoonists. Bit of hair there for the hairy arms. And we're starting to draw in a twig here. There we go. And add just a little bit of shadow there in the thumb. There we go. Make the edge lines a little bit thicker. A couple of knuckles. And we need the other hand, which we'll draw in again. Like I say, you basically need the fingers, but they are quite rough, really. Like I say, hands can be difficult. Another twig coming in like this. I need to put the rest of the hand in. Another finger. Now, oh, he's got an extended finger today. It's a bit of etiquette. Drawing the rest of the stick. I mean, put in the cuffs. A bit more hair for the arms there. Black in the cuffs so you can get shadow around there. A little bit more emphasis around the edges. A few more knuckle marks. And you start to get a shape of the hand. There's a thumb just going in there. There we are. Now, obviously, he has to have a diagonal sash, but we know where that's going, so we don't forget to draw it in. And we'll draw a few twigs down here. As there's been a delivery which was supposed to be a banana box, so this is why we draw in the banana box. And there we go. Ooh. And so it's basically a box of twigs. Now we know the box is going to have nanas on it, and so we have to guess roughly where the word nana is going to be. This sort of rough shape it's going to be. There's going to be an S there, although yeah, we're not sure yet. And then we'll put in the top part of the word, and suddenly you'll probably get to more of the sense of the word nana. There we go. Fabulous. Yep, I think you read that. The S is a bit tall, but we'll worry about that later. Put in the standard oval that banana box needs. Yeah, okay. Maybe the line's a bit rough on that one, but it'll sort itself out. Darken in some of the shapes so you start to get the shape of the words. There we are. Yep, there we go. Starting to read as nanas. There we go. And then black in a little bit behind there just to pick out the lettering. Oh yeah. See, a lot of this stuff I sort out afterwards. If I take a drawing like this, I then may take it into something like Illustrator, sharpen the lines and do some colouring. But on the original drawing, you can sort of get away with a certain amount of rough and readiness. I mean, I like rough and readiness. I mean, Gruntleigh's creator has been terribly kind to me over the last couple of years, and a little bit, I guess that makes it look a bit more like a box, just a few folds and things, a little bit shadow. It's been terribly kind to me over the last couple of years and been very polite about my drawings. So we've sort of come to this kind of understanding, really. Yeah, I just pencil in a few more twigs here. So yeah, he seems to appreciate what I do, and whilst I'm never convinced of my that these drawings are necessarily the world's greatest, they seem to go down well. So I thought it might be time that you actually got to see a little bit of how one of them is put together. So there we are. We just add a few more twigs here to give it an idea of what a box of twigs might look like. Using a Sharpie today. I don't always use a Sharpie for these drawings, but it felt kind of it felt like a Sharpie day, you know. Sometimes when you want to do a quick drawing, it's kind of the pen of choice. I do have sort of I quite often use Rotring ones where I want to do a sort of slower, more detailed drawing. But sometimes the drawings are quite quick, quite sort of rough and ready, and quite sort of thrown. No, not thrown together. That's far too self-deprecating. But they need a quicker style. There we go. Just a little bit more thickness around the edge helps picks it off the page, and you need to have a variation in line thickness. Quick tabletop there, so the box is now on a table, and we add a few more bits and bobs of twigs. And now if we put in some shading on the side here, you get a little bit of more of the sense of the shape of the box. A few more twigs. See, as you can see, there's no actual pencil mark on this, so this is really making it up as we go along. But get a little bit more shadow in there, and you start to see the individual twigs. Draw the rest of his diagonal. Now, obviously, he's got to have his cuffs. There's, like I say, there's a standard look for Gruntleigh, which is basically you have wide shoulders with these big sort of padded sections on them, then a big arm outside. There we go, and then the arm comes round. And on the other side, the same. Another padded shoulder, another great big arm, and there we go. Bring it down. Now, it doesn't matter really about the line work there, because we'll be inking it in later. Add a little bit more of the diagonal sash. Fill in a bit more of the shoulder pieces, like say these standard scribbles, these squiggles that I like to add. And there we go. So we're going to change pen quickly to blacken some of the areas much more quickly. So here we go, high speed. Just, you don't really need to see me colouring in forever and ever and ever, but gives you the gist of how it works. That's a Faber-Castell, by the way, Faber-Castell B, which has got a quite nice brush tip, but it means you can cover a lot of area of black very quickly. And we can very quickly sort of just ink in all this background and finish off a few bits that we didn't ink in on the line work, and you get more of the sense of it. I always think he looks more like Gruntleigh the minute the actual hair's in place, weirdly. Until you draw the hair, it doesn't quite look like him. There we go, a little bit more inking in. You can see now it's starting to come together. There we go. Right, so we're back to normal speed now, back to the Sharpie. So a few of the bits where we missed with the pen, and we can sort of tidy up a few lines here. Add a little bit of shape to those cuffs. Ink in a few more of the bits where we missed with the brush. Add a little bit of shadow here just to lift the collar off the sash. Put a little bit more line work around the edges of the fingers. There we go, blacken some areas again. Like in a bit more hair. Add a few tufts of hair, which always help. There we go, a little bit more detail in here. A few bits where I didn't quite get it. There we are. And blacken down here. There we go. Okay, bit of drop shadow. And there's a fingernail. There we go. Oh yeah, you can start to see the shape of the hand there. There we go. So, a little bit more shape of the body behind there. Obviously the body width is more or less where the shoulders are. Drop in a little bit more detail around these twigs, just so we know where they are. You can tell a few apart, put in a few bits of black shadow just to give it a real sense of twigginess. I don't know. There we go. And then add a little bit of shadow again to give the box some shape. A few dots here and there. Right. Now, you can see where, if we draw in these lines a little bit more, you start to see now the box is in front. There we go. A little bit of shadow, a few more twigs. Let's have a leaf. Why not? Sometimes nice just to stick a bit of leaf. There we go. Just put a little bit of shadow here so that the box is actually on the table. A few more bits need inking in. Give the thickness to the sash and a little bit of shadow under the chin just to lift it off there. Here we go. So it's all about little bits of detail. So we have a little bit of drop shadow. You wouldn't think that for such a simple drawing, how much detail you need to think about really. A little bit more and a bit of shape here to the cuff again. There's a few more black bits need to disappear. There we go. It's actually quite silhouette-y as a style in the end. Sometimes the shape of the arm you don't need to worry about at all. And we need to make this edge around the Nana symbol just to make it look a little bit more like it was intentional. Yes, there's lots of cheating involved. There we go. A little bit of thickness again to the side of the box and to the edge of the character. It just helps. Again, if it's got a thicker edge and thinner lines inside, it's a technique that works quite well. A few more bits and bobs in the hair, a couple more shadows just to lift things off. Gives you that slight 3D effect. I say 3D, I mean, you know, you're used to 3D drawing, but you know what I mean. Just helps lift areas of the drawing. Put that front edge in. There we go. Now, a few more tufts of hair just to give it a little bit more energy. And now we need to add a few more movement lines. These just, again, help to make the drawing just look a little bit more what it is. Quick signature. Put today's date on, and there we go. There's Gruntleigh finding a box of sticks. Hope you enjoyed that today, and I hope to see you again soon. You take care.